Well, it's been a busy voting day in Zimbabwe. Polls closed just about an hour ago at 7 p.m. and now vote counting is underway. More than 5.6 million people were registered to cast their votes for the presidential, parliamentary and local government elections. For more on this story, we're joined now by Mzwandile Mbeje, who is in Bulawayo. Mzwandile, good evening to you. We said a little earlier on that perhaps the easy part is over. Now begins the nail-biting wait as we find out exactly what it is Zimbabweans have decided today.
Thank you very much, Bongani. Yes, the easy path, as you have said, is supposed to have concluded, but we're far from it. You can see I'm at the polling station called a Fusini polling station in the township of Bulawayo called Makokoba. So there are still a number of people outside the polling station. When we got here, Bongani, about 30 minutes ago, there were about 130 people outside still waiting to cast their ballot. So what they do here is that the last person who was here when the clock, the 7 o'clock time arrived, so then there will be a police right at the back to make sure that whoever was here at the time is able to vote. But of course, people here have mixed views about the slowness of the pace, and many, Bongani, I can tell you, feel this may be a deliberate a reason to exclude a number of them because they are seen to be voting in a particular way. So I have some of the people here who would actually give us their thoughts in terms of what they're thinking, why this delay. Good evening, Baba. Just to get an opinion from you. Why do you think this process is delaying so much?
I don't know inside what's inside, but people have been here for a long time. They're trying to exercise their rights, but now time is gone. People are not managing to get inside in time. I've been here for about 3 hours. I'm still in the line.
But do you think you'll be able to stand here until you vote?
I have to exercise my rights.
So I saw there's a lot of other people who are also there. So they are willing to stay. I know it can get a bit chilly right now. Are they willing to stay?
Everyone is willing to stay. And everyone is willing to cast his vote. Sure.
Thank you very much, Bab. Bongani, basically he's saying he's been here. In fact, I think he may be one of the lucky ones because he says he's been here for 3 hours. Some of those we're speaking to, they say they've been here since this morning. And they really are saying they will not leave. Upon our arrival, when they saw the SABC, they were so excited, basically saying, yes, there is media here. The plan of trying to exclude us will not work. So, and we went to and tried to speak to presiding officers. They said they are not allowed to speak to us, but did indicate that whoever is here on the line will be allowed to vote, even if it means it's going up to 3 a.m.
I guess my sense watching it from here in Johannesburg, Mzwandile, is that for many Zimbabweans, this is an election quite like, not quite like any other that we've seen in recent times. Many are pointing to even that historic moment of 1980. Is that indeed the sense that you are getting at that particular polling station?
Bongani, if you speak to any Zimbabwean who is eligible to vote, they all tell you about an historic moment. Historic in the sense that the majority of the people here actually are voting for the first time where the name of the former president, Robert Mugabe, is not there. Already that alone is historic. So all they are saying is this is the moment to change. Whether you're talking about change in the opposition or change in the governing party, but they feel this moment presents a unique opportunity for them to start looking really at issues of development. So as you said, so they are looking at this election like no other. And the pundits that we've been speaking to as well have been saying the way the dynamics are, Bongani, are quite interesting. In Zimbabwe, the majority of the voters are rural people. I think they are about 68% of the rural people. So, given that the rural people have traditionally voted for ZANU-PF, so will they do that this time around? Given the events of November last year, where President Mugabe was removed, you'd know that some of the people are not happy with what happened. So ordinarily, you would have guessed which way this election would go, but the dynamics have changed so much. Even Mugabe himself yesterday, the party that he has lashed out for so many years, saying it's a puppet of the British and the European colonialists, he is actually saying that is the party he's going to vote for. The dynamics have really changed, Bongane.
Mzwandile, I suppose the final one is that, as you say, the landscape has changed. We know, of course, because of the economic meltdown in urban areas, many people in those rural areas that are voting today would have previously been in the urban centers. So everyone making different calculations. You referred a little earlier to the way in which people in Bulawayo might be perceived to be voting. What is very encouraging to see is, of course, that those queues, despite the frustrations, despite the long waits, people are there and there's no appearance of intimidation. People are quite forthright in being able to say they're determined to exercise their rights.
Absolutely, Bongani. When it comes to the issue of intimidation, for the first time, even when you speak to the older generation, they are telling you straight that for the first time that they are voting without any threat whatsoever. And I can attest to that, Bongani, because what we tried to do as early as 5:30 this morning, we went to as many as perhaps 10 polling stations around Bulawayo, different polling stations, because we really wanted to get a sense of how things are in the suburbs, in the townships. So the feeling has been the same. This is the peaceful election, and as a result, people want to take the opportunity, they want to take the destiny into their own hands. As you can see, they're very angry, but they are saying, angry as they are, they'll wait, they'll stay, they'll be here.
And based on what you are seeing finally there, Mzwandile, in terms of the demographics at that particular polling station, from the visuals we are seeing coming back to us, it does appear that there are a number of younger people in Bulawayo there at that particular polling station. Many of them, of course, as you pointed out, will not remember a time when there wasn't a President Mugabe until late last year.
Absolutely. These are younger people. These are the ones who are saying, we are not leaving this place. And as I said earlier, I think they also are taking solace in the fact that they see in the media, they feel someone out there cares about them. You should have seen the excitement, Bongani. People saying, wow, SABC, you are here to tell the story of Zimbabwe to the world. So we will make sure that that story, you get the correct story. So, and then they started complaining to say some of the officials were not treating them well. But as soon as we tried and find out what was happening, the officials said, no, whoever is here will be allowed to vote, and the police are here to make sure that they maintain peace. But as far as the process is concerned, everything is okay. Maybe just one thing, Bongani, before I hand back to you. The other thing that has been frustrating apparently is the ballot paper. The font is not clear. It's causing a lot of challenges to the elderly. Not only is the font the problem, also the issue of the MDC. Remember, there's MDC Alliance and the MDC-T. So the symbols of those MDCs are almost the same. So old people are getting confused, even young people are getting confused. So someone takes a lot of time trying to see, am I voting for this or am I voting for that? So these are some of the dynamics that are playing themselves out here, Bongan.
All right, Mzwandile, we'll have to leave it there. Perhaps the excitement wasn't so much about the SABC. Maybe it was because of the famous Mzwandile Mbeje being in Bulawayo. We'll leave it there with you. All right, we've been bringing you, of course, extensive coverage of what's been happening in Zimbabwe. So polling officially closed, but a number of stations still open to let every single voter who's determined to exercise their rights in really what is going to be an election that is going to be seminal for Zimbabwe. And I think that's where we're going to have to leave it, Francis, for
indeed,
tonight.
Bongani, and we'll have all the action tomorrow. Of course, voting, as we heard, counting rather, basically starting immediately. So we'll have some preliminary results, perhaps. Thank you for being with us on The Full View.